Hey everybody, I'm Wholesome Satan here, also known as How He Feels. I am the meme for and Howie's Movie Castle and Academic Light 99 or 9554. I'm starting a video blog and gonna have it on Facebook, and I think it'll stay there. I don't know. We're gonna figure this out. Let's talk grief, shall we? Grief sucks ass. It's awful. But Augmandino says I will love sadness because it widens my soul, or something along those lines. When you hurt, you become a better person because you understand why others act how they do. That is very profound. Because if you've been in a trauma zone, and you see someone traumatizing another trauma victim, you're gonna step in and defend them. It's inherent in who we are as logical, moral, and ethical beings, right? When we see pathos being triggered, we know I need to help that person. So, how do we know pathos is triggered? Emotions, right? Well, when someone veers from logos, logic, and employs ethos to damage pathos, that is wrong. That's authoritarianism, right? I am the authority and therefore will treat you like shit. No, not okay. If you can't vocalize why you're doing what you're doing, and you give the excuse of you being in charge as a reason to do something, you are either in the military, where that sort of a thing has to be in play for very nuanced reasons, or you're an asshole. So try this out. We're going to take a very extreme example, alright? Say there's a manager and they want to kill you, right? They're saying, I am the manager, therefore I can kill you. Well, no. Okay, let's work it down. You start with the extreme and you find the limit. So work it down. I'm the manager and therefore can hit you. Ooh. I'm the manager and therefore I can insult you. Or I can touch you. Or I can just fire you for no reason. No. Legally you have the right. Morally and ethically you don't have the duty to do so. So it's important. This is why I think Kant is the smartest philosopher out there. Descartes is really good too. And Aristotle and Socrates, they have their place. But Kant defined duty. He says, unless it can be a universal axiom, you can't, Kant, I love that, you can't say you have a moral duty to do so, right? Eating. You have a moral duty to eat because you will have children. You provide things for the world. You're valuable and you need to take care of yourself. Now, a lot of people misconstrue him to have a context, great fun, a context that says you can't kill because it is wrong to kill. You didn't subdivide it enough. You're describing the action wrong, right? So you can't murder. That is shedding innocent blood. Shedding innocent blood is not okay. Now, defending the weak means you attack people who attack others. If they're attacking others, you learn to escalate it until it gets de-escalated naturally. There are 3 ways that can happen. 1, you can learn that they were actually defending themselves. 2, the unthinkable happens, and the one you're defending the aggressor is somehow neutralized. We'll leave it there. In 3, they realize what they're doing is wrong, and they stop. So if you can teach morals through metaphorical ideas and logic, yelling if necessary, swearing at people who deserve it, swear words are just help words, right? If you are walking along and you see someone go, oh fuck, whoa, they're having an emotional moment right here. So if you say you're not allowed to say emotional words like fuck, shit, damn, hell, bitch, motherfucker, right, all that, you're shaming them for using a verbal catharsis. That's all it is. Swearing is just catharsis. It is harmless. And it isn't vulgar language. Vulgar language is common language. Vulgar means common. So, if you're talking kish all day, which is just trivial things that we all tend to love, and you never delve into the profound, that is being vulgar. Right? Vulgarity is taking a very nuanced subject and making it simple. Black and white thinking. That is vulgar. Very, very vulgar. Talking about sex can be too. It can. It isn't always, though. Like right now. What I just said isn't vulgar. And I said sex, right? So, this atheist axiom, it's the foundation of magic, right? And I say, let God be fake, and God was fake. It is, in essence, a God complex. The belief that unless you validate the existence of a being or understand how they can exist, they don't exist. You don't have moral duties because you don't understand moral duties. You don't have a responsibility to yourself to try to find the most intelligent being ever to converse with them, right? So in my faith, there's a scripture that says the glory of God is intelligence, okay? God's glory is rational thought. God exists because he's rational. I think, therefore I am. Nietzsche says God is dead, but Nietzsche's dead, so he wasn't ever real, right? You don't even know that he exists. You see pictures of Nietzsche and quotes from him, but you don't know that Stephen Fry didn't make it up and then was part of a society, of the Dead Poet Society, the Dead Philosopher Society, that just makes up random names and puts them in textbooks. Right? You don't know any of that. You believe it, but you don't know. Oof. So you don't even know if Nietzsche's real. If you applied that same logic of, I don't understand Nietzsche, therefore I don't think he is real. How asinine. How idiotic. How proud that you are the sole chooser of who is real and who is right and wrong. I don't make a statement unless logic demands that I make a statement. If I can't back it up, I don't speculate on anything, right? I don't say, I think this, but I don't know. I'll say, I need to know that now, and I'm gonna drive myself insane figuring it out. And along the way, I'll learn other things from here and there and here, and the Jedi mind trick comes naturally. I don't know if you know this, but there really are psychological reasons that we believe in magic sometimes. Like, here's a really fun thought, Brady. If you were to put a Neanderthal in a room and go like this while your friend flips on a light switch around the corner, the Neanderthal is going to think you're a god, right? Right? You just let there be light. So, it isn't a miracle, it's just around the corner. And I want to discuss an idea while I'm here today. And the idea is just that, well, it's a thought experiment, alright? So, say there are two trains. We'll do this. My nose is a sensor. There's a flashlight on each train, aimed at the other train. They are along a parallel line. These trains have the ability to move at the speed of light, alright? We're going to do the speed of light way slowed down. So from the perspective of someone looking this way or that way on each respective train, it looks like this from the side. twice as fast because they're going at the same speed, right? So the train disappears because light doesn't go fast enough to go twice the speed of light. Therefore, to this person, this guy vanished and is going twice the speed of light. Now, if a being or a train is going the speed of light and they're going the same way, the light will never reach this train because they're going the same speed, but they're both going the speed of light. So it will appear that the other train isn't there. And therefore, they're almost in the same area, just offset, and the electrons allow that room to be filled. Well, I didn't really say that right. Sorry, but you'll run into an imaginary wall, which is the atomic magnetic field of electrons. So you'll hit something and go, where did that come from? Right? So it is possible for God to be here and for you to look directly at him and he isn't in your field of view. Now, we need to discuss the concept called an eternity. Alright? Think of it like hitting pause on a video. Pause. So, in the video, let's say it's a claymation video. You pause, you pick up a house that's claymation and move it over here. And then hit resume. The little clay dude right here is gonna look and go, where did that house go? Freak out, right? Object permanence is gonna say, well, it must be here, but I don't see it. Atheists do that with God. They go, well, if he was there, he would just show up, and yeah, well, I don't even know how to talk about that anymore. It's just hubris is all it is. And Christianity has nailed that. Talking about how pride is a great sin. The essence of things are not real unless I understand them is pride. If I don't understand something, boy, I'm investigating that until I get it to a level that allows me to operate. So, I hardly know physics. I don't know any of the theorems around the Euler's number. I don't know any of those theorems by heart, but I do know that I can use a calculator to figure that out. So there are tools that mean that I don't have to learn as much. I need to know the basics and move on to larger things. And I know it seems like I've been jumping around here all over the place, but I do data mining for a living. Data mining looks like this. So, just full data is this. Data is this. Made you look. So I took all these points and put them on a 3D model and connected 3D dots instead of just 2D representation. I then added humor, and I accidentally created an intelligent metaphor. Oops. So, if you are thinking in 2 dimensions, I like this, I understand this, right? And you don't add, is it true? So now you go from, I understand this and I like this, so something here. I don't understand it, but boy, do I like it. Like flavor. You go, I don't understand how flavor works, but boy, my thumb tastes great right now. Humor. Bingo, right there. There's humor. Or over here. Right here. So here's the here. I don't like this at all. But I understand it. And oh man, I did not like having to get out of bed in the morning. Oh man. There you go. Here is the atheist axiom. I don't like it. I don't understand it. Oh. This introduces, is it true? So if back here is false, here, and here is true, no matter where it falls, if you take the limit or the derivative, no, the integral of the yes, it is 100% true, the end graph, whether or not you like or understand something, there is a sheet of truth. So, not liking something is an opinion. Not understanding something is a lack of skill. So, you having an opinion that a skill doesn't exist doesn't influence truth. So, you saying, I lack the skill to understand God, I lack the skill, it's a logical skill that must be honed and developed by reading, pondering, and thinking about Jesus, a good person, or Buddha, a good person who has enlightened thought. Or, if you want to, you can think about Gandhi or Confucius or, heaven forbid, Adam or Eve or Satan. What do they teach? All of them. You saying, I don't have the skills to understand this, and I think. No. You can't think an opinion. You have an opinion. You state an opinion. You think You assume they aren't real. I don't understand it, therefore I assume it isn't real. Thinking is a process, not a one-time verb, right? Well, I think you're wrong. No, you assume I'm wrong because you don't understand it. And you assume that I also lack the skills that you assume are not real. As a data scientist, I can tell you that the Golden State Warriors are going to go places because they use binomial distributions in relation to the number of shots they take and their shooting percentages, and they maximize the shot count in order to make the most points based on percentage to point value ratios. That is really smart speech for they're choosing wise shot counts, and mathematically they are destined to win more games than lose. So math is very important to sports. And if you can calculate that, you can understand why when you play pickup games and it's ones and twos, why everyone shoots threes is because if you have a 20% chance for threes, you're still likely to win because you need like a 60 to 70% make rate of ones to get even close. So if you're playing a short amount of time, yeah, you really just want to crank those threes to win the game. Statistically, if you play ones and twos, you should never, ever, ever shoot a two. I mean, a one, right? Always shoot threes if you're playing big ones and twos because you're going to win every time. Isn't that sad? Alright. We discussed a lot today. I'm gonna add one little caveat here. Guilt and worth are not tied together. If you're guilty of being dumb, just change and it doesn't matter anymore. Repentance makes past sins irrelevant. If you are a murderer and you realize, you know what? I owe it to society to make up for what I've done. Let's say you're given a life sentence and you go to prison and you pull a Shawshank Redemption or a Green Mile while still accepting your fate. How powerful a message. Just imagine the types of people you can introduce to Christianity or Buddhism, Taoism, all of that. Just ponder. You're saying, look, you know the song Amazing Grace is written by a former slave trader, right? A guy who sold people into hell for money, wrote one of the most famous Christian songs ever. In fact, his redemption increased his value to society. So saying you're wrong and changing augments your, wait a minute, rational skills. So I mention my IQ a lot, just to be a troll. Because I know that if I say I have a high IQ and someone goes, ugh, I know that I can rile them up at any moment and they are totally manipulatable and I can't trust them worth shit. Because if I say something that they disagree with, instant argument, instantly they're going to call me delusional, instantly they're going to say terrible things about me behind my back, and I know that I have to pester them until they accept reality that I actually am a lot smarter than they are. And the bigger their ego, the larger the fall. So I love when people combat against me because I know that I'll win. That sounds very narcissistic, but winning for me is them growing as a person. Them saying, you know what, I was a jerk. Because I know that they're a jerk to other people when I'm not around. And I have a moral duty to knock them on their asses so that they stop being mean. Just think about and remember the Titans where Denzel Washington hands the coach a banana. It was a major middle finger and a rather funny big dick joke. So, calling someone on their shit is not hate. If anything, it is love. A love of truth, a love of them, a love of other people. We need to reorient our social tendencies towards truth. Thanks for watching. If you have, I'm Henry Fields, and statistically speaking, I'm the smartest person you'll ever meet if we meet face to face. The odds of me meeting another person with my IQ are so astronomically low, I have had to cope with the grief that I will never be fully understood by anyone on earth. And I decided that I'm going to call myself a Vulcan. It is more accurate for me to call myself a Romulan. But Vulcans, well, I can't share that. So there you go. I really am a Vulcan. I think like them, huh? They're very clever. Very clever indeed. And all I will tell you is that Khan is the most dangerous opponent the Vulcans have ever faced. And I can't tell you why. That's not funny. Your mockery influences neither truth nor error. There we go.